of July to all of those that are celebrating in the
America Day? Is that America Day?
America Day. July 4th is the celebration of the United States of America's independence from that tyrant King of England. They shook the chains of tyranny and
Text
made a
too
country
much.
of our own.
Talking of independence and having some less dependence, I don't know. I know where I'm going with that.
That was an interesting transition you got there.
Teams meetings, one window. Yeah. Content, camera, chat. Apparently that's going to change soon, Daniel. The content and the chat and the video will be independent of each other. See how it connected?
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that this past week. Phil actually had posted something that was in the roadmap, and then there was an article posted. But yeah, you're showing there those watching in the video see that. But yeah, being able to pop out the shared meeting content. So if someone's sharing their screen or whatever, and then being able to have the other window be people and chat and such. So, and then Brian chimed in there saying, "Yep, we've been using it and dog food and which means it's Microsoft using like the earliest of builds." And so he says it's really good.
It is
so
as good as it seems. It is something that I missed from Skype for Business Days, where I liked having a separate video gallery, placing it below the calendar, having my content somewhere, and chat separately, because you just you can organize things a bit easier. But,
and make it your own. You can make for those of us that have a bigger screen or have multiple screens, you can put the videos of people and their pictures over here. You can put the content over here. You can have your own experience. I like it. Gives us more flexibility.
Yeah, definitely.
And who doesn't want more flexibility?
Well, only those people that are not as flexible. I don't know where I'm going with that either.
I don't know either. Let's just start it.
We will do that. I'll play the intro.
Darrell, the video, so those on the audio podcast, go jump and look at the intro if you haven't seen the intro for it was filmed at Microsoft Ignite. We need to do that again. We need to get together and create another video intro. So the next time we're together, let's make sure we do that.
Yes, we have to. Otherwise, we're just going to have to come up with some CGI way of putting us together and making it all feel and look the same.
Maybe I'll just fly to New Zealand and we'll.
Why not?
Are y'all letting people in?
Yep. Yes, with good reason. I think this is a good reason, and look, I will take it out of our massive show budget. You can put an expense claim in, and put your flights against that.
That sounds wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 245. Is that right? 245.
Yes, it is 245.
We're
Daniel.
inching closer to that big 250. I don't know why it's big, but it seems like it should be.
I think we only celebrate centenaries.
Oh, is that right? Today we are, right? July 4th. Woohoo! Back in 1776. Anyway. So today we have some topics that I think we have some quick ones. We'll just be honest with you, but we also have some interesting ones, including Cameo. And using that in PowerPoint Live. But first, we've got to stop, Darrell.
We've got to stop. Okay.
Everyone, right now, make sure you like this video, this audio podcast, however you're viewing this. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and do that right now. It's all right. We'll wait. Everybody's
this
waiting.
actually works. We've been getting more thumbs up. I think maybe people like our videos. They just didn't consider hitting that button.
Okay, great. Like it. And then, wait for it, you can take the URL of the video or audio right now and share it. We had some people share the last one. We engaged on, I think it was Twitter. So maybe we could get some people engaging with us on LinkedIn this time. Just make sure you tag us. We're on socials everywhere at 365MCS. So just go out there and share. Sharing is caring. And if you don't share this episode with your followers, then you don't care about them.
Well, that's right.
Let's go ahead and show them that you care about everyone around you.
Actually, if you only cared about a portion of the show, you can use the chapter marks that we put in afterwards, so you can point people to a certain topic if you found that interesting. So that's another way to share it.
But go ahead and share right now. Just copy and paste or hit the share button. Just go ahead and do that right now. And just say, hey, I watched this. That's all you have to do. But remember, if you don't share, you don't care.
I care, Daniel. I care.
Thank
you, random citizen.
Yes, nice. Let's jump into it before I get in more trouble.
Well, you already are. You know that expense claim I said you could make to get yourself to New Zealand?
Revoked, isn't it?
Revoked. Cameo and PowerPoint Live, MC 395422. Do we know what Cameo is? Of course we do. It is when a famous person appears in a movie with a small part, such as Thor Ragnarok and a few stars that recreated a scene.
Next definition.
Yeah. Oh, next definition?
Right, we have multiple definitions, when you're looking in the dictionary or who knows what that is. I'm talking about, when you do a search online, you have multiples. Let's go to the next definition.
Oh, next definition. Well, how about the Microsoft definition, which isn't really a Cameo, but it kind of is. When you're in Cameo is a feature for PowerPoint where you can put your video feed, live feed, in as an object in the PowerPoint, and you can get it to sort of move around or just be in different places. Please don't overuse it. Okay, it's like one of the new transitions that comes out with the latest version of Office. Ooh, got to use that one more often. But it's still good. It's just you're not a cameo in your presentation. You are the main event, along with the content. All right? Do you like that? Yeah. So,
I did.
No.
I don't agree though, because I think content's supposed to be the main event.
Okay.
But that's a philosophical discussion that we can have at another time.
Okay. Well, you are the leading role.
There we go. Okay.
In your presentation, your content might be the main event, or should be. Okay. Well, Cameo, as it is currently available in beta channel, not really quite yet available in targeted release for Office, or the what do you call it? First release, something channel, early channel. Change the channel. Don't change this channel though. Stay with us. The feature doesn't work currently in PowerPoint Live, so you can present on a slide deck and present and capture a whole screen. But if you got into using PowerPoint Live with within Teams, which is a great feature, Cameo until now has not been available. Funny though, I'm saying it's not available, but it's actually not available in PowerPoint yet. So
right,
yeah. Would it appeal to you, Daniel? Would you kind of use this Cameo feature, particularly in PowerPoint Live?
Well, I think I have been struggling a little bit with PowerPoint Live and some of the shortcomings with how it works and versus just sharing your screen. Not huge. It's just, it's different, right? When you do it that way. And so anyway, we can bring this experience a little closer in how we can manage this. But what I think is interesting is, we were just talking about, and we'll talk about it in a show coming up, I'm sure, because it'll be announced. It's going to be rolling out in August, which is the ability to split out your shared content from the rest of your PowerPoint meeting. And so being able to have multiple windows where you can one window see the content and one window seeing people and chat and all of that. Well, does that then kind of erase maybe the need to do Cameo, or maybe eliminate some of the need? I don't know. I don't know. I guess it depends on why you use it. Let me ask you, what do you think is the reason? Because this whole idea of putting myself on top of content is, I don't know. I've struggled with this.
Yeah. So we have that. What is that called? Presenter modes.
Right.
Where you could use the AI or green screen and drop yourself over various different corners of your content. But this just gives you a bit more control than that. You're not just limited to these two corners and having to plan your content around it. You can now treat your video feed as an object. And when I said use this sparingly, I mean it. Like, do we really need to see? It would lose its effect if you have yourself embedded in every single slide somewhere. It's going to be fun for a little while, but I think just as a nice intro, I saw a good example of like a grid of showing who you are and what you do, representing yourself as a presenter. That maybe one of those is a live tile within a, I said live tile, collage, along with pictures of other things in your life and who you are and what you do, if that's your thing.
Yes, but I think it could be. I'm thinking about this gentleman. He's a speaker on body language, and he talks about using your hands and expressing yourself in a way that people will connect with you. And so, for those on the audio podcast, I was doing this.
Daniel's waving his hands.
I was waving my hands. But it is, so I can get that a little bit, if there's definitely some, maybe some action slides, or, there's some areas where you want to do some emphasis and really connect with your audience, such as, who I am, telling them about me, but, maybe you're running a poll in your meeting, and so you want to have your video on so you can or take question and answers, but you still want to have your slides up, and so maybe you want to do it that way, but I would discourage people from putting them on every slide all whole time, just like you said. So okay, so when is this rolling out?
When will this happen? Production and GCC. Production and GCC? Sorry, that's an interesting way to refer to it. General release and GCC is what I would say. Beginning rolling out early September, expect to be complete by mid-September. And we didn't actually show the screenshot. Very clever boy. Okay. This is what I look like. Hang on. Full screen. There we go. There we go. So, what was his name? Babishek. I forget the character's name. The Mr. You Caught Me Working guy from Microsoft 365.
You're talking about the screenshot in the message. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Screenshot in the message. That's not even a great example, is it? He's set Cameo. His webcam is now no longer showing within PowerPoint in the Teams experience. But it's been embedded in the slide in PowerPoint Live, and that's supposed to be representative of his live or web camera. And I think here's probably one of the more effective ways of using it. If you've got just a few key words that you're trying to make in a point, right up beside you, and it's all about you talking about those words, and you're not having to squint to see Daniel as a postage stamp size or whatever. That's a good example. Anyway, we have Cameo that one to death.
Nice. Let's get on to one where we can really have some fun and talk about how bad it is. I mean, not how bad it is.
No, but you have some good thoughts on this one, Daniel.
Important information about your Microsoft Power Automate and Logic Apps service MC395617. First of all, I think this is interesting because they can make the same post with the same title pretty often. So it's interesting that they use that because it doesn't really tell you anything about the message. Normally we talk about, wow, that's great. A great title of a message gives you an idea of what the message is about. This doesn't tell you anything about what this is.
It doesn't really turn up in search, does it? Because you're looking for a keyword about whatever is in that message, but it's searching the title.
That's right. Remember that, Message Center folks. So anyway, so what this is Microsoft is deprecating a connector. Okay, so it's the Dataverse Legacy Connector, or CDS 2.0 connector for Logic Apps and Power Automate for your flows. And so it's done. The announcement was made June 30th, and they deprecated it on June 30th. And
what?
Yep. So you could still use it. So your flows that use this connector will still work. Actually, until October of 2023. So they're giving you a lot of time here for letting you know.
2022?
See, I'm wondering if that's because I'm wondering if that's a mistake instead of 2022 October, because before they say that in the message, it says these legacy actions can be used in new Logic apps until October 31st of 2022. So, and then after that, you can't use it for creating new ones. But anyway, we'll make sure to get a clarification here. But so you're going to have a little bit of time here. What I wanted to say about this, and so it's happening now, right? It's deprecated, and now what you need to do is go to all your flows that use this connector and change it and update your flow, test it, and make sure it works. But so all your flows. So if you've got a bunch of these, then go ahead and start now working on updating. And that's really what I wanted to talk about here, is that it's the architecture of the service. They don't update connectors. They leave old connectors there. And there's good reasons for this, granted. However, what this means is every time they update a connector, they create a new version of it, and you have to go back and edit all your flows that use it to update with the new one. It's very frustrating. And in fact, when I first used it was Microsoft Flow at the time, when I first started using it, when it first came out, in fact, it may not even have been in GA yet. Within a week they had updated a connector, and so I was using connector and it was already out of date. So I had to edit my flows, that handful of them that I had created, and with the new version of the connector. So it's a bit frustrating. So just let everybody know that go ahead and as soon as you can, as soon as it's available, and you can start testing and everything, do it now. Is my suggestion. So I'm looking at in here, and it's also talking about so for Power Automate. So what we were talking about, those dates were for Logic apps. For Power Automate, you won't be able to use the Dataverse Legacy Connector after November 25th of this year, and then existing flows that use that connector will work until May of 2023. So I'm assuming that that 2023 is correct. So you have some time, but don't wait. This is one of those things that it could get complicated and you need to test. So do that.
There we go.
So temporarily accessing things is a wonderful security feature, Darrell.
Yes.
So tell us about how we can do that in Azure Active Directory.
Yeah, Azure Active Directory Temporary Access Pass, MC395603. I have seen a few comments from admins rejoicing over this one. Can I say rejoicing? They're pretty happy about it. because sometimes when we are trying to be secure and we have multi-factor authentication or some kind of third-party token thing that we need to put into our devices to provide that, we can lose those things, lose our phones, break our phones, and it sometimes makes it difficult for us to set up that level of security again. And so this feature, Temporary Access Pass, is something that will allow an admin to provide you with a secure temporary way of getting in as a third method of authentication, and then you can go in and set up your multi-factor authentication again across new devices and new things that you have. And there's some good additional information for this about configuring it, so do click on the links at the bottom of the message, and you will find all about how to configure the temporary access. It does step through some of your options too as an admin about being able to change the lifetime of that temporary access password, how long it will work, and of course it's one time only. But it's a good option for admins who, rather than trying to fuddle their way through and maybe lower security to try and make it possible for people to set things up again, it is still sticking with a good secure method.
Which is helpful for when you switch phones and Microsoft Authenticator loses its connection to the environment and it says you need to reconnect, but what if your password is, you've forgotten your password, you need so you can get in this loop of you can't do anything to get into the environment. So, I think this is very helpful. That's one use case of it. Yeah.
They're this is why you should definitely set up a couple of methods, not just rely on the mobile phone number, and, have something like the push. I use the push notification from Microsoft Authenticator, but also have the phone as another way of, I can't get to my Authenticator app at the moment, can you give me a call on something?
Yeah.
Saying that out loud, it's often the same device. It's the phone.
Well, and also your phone can be spoofed. Your SIM can be spoofed. This is kind of one of those heavy, this is not everyday hacker stuff. This is, someone's really targeting you. They can spoof your SIM and receive your text and your calls. And anyway, I'm not a security expert, but the more you can do to lock down, but also provide access right where needed is a good thing. So,
yep.
Let's move on before I get myself in trouble. Outlook to block new attachment file types to improve security. Hey, look, we're doing security again. MC395211. This is rolling out early July, so nowish. Expected to complete by late July. And now the different versions of Outlook here are going to be blocking files to help improve security. So the Windows app, so the desktop app in Windows, is going to be blocking the new file type of CAB. So those are often they're kind of compressed files that hold other files, like a zip file type, but is used for installation media often. And then Outlook on the web has got a few. It's got about 5 there. Application, BGI, image, IMG, and ISO. Those are often for imaging discs, whether that's a DVD disc or something else, in CAB. And then even Mac and Android and iOS Outlook are getting other types of blocks as well. So I think what is important here is for you to, if you've communicated this information to your users, or you have a central place of, hey, you weren't able to do something, here's why, knowledge base in your organization, you're going to need to update that. But also making sure those that support your users can know this information, so that when they call in and say, hey, I'm trying to send this email and it's not letting me and I don't know why, then they'll know to also look for these new blocked file types. But the user's going to get an information on, hey, this is not the file type is not blocked. So you need to also think about how you're going to provide users the ability to share that information if it really is legitimate. So, yep.
Daniel, sometimes I look at the recurring message title, updates available in Microsoft 365 apps for current channel. There it is, current channel. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. And if you take a closer look at the link below at the very bottom, you can go to a site which lists what are those changes and those releases. Did you took a closer look at this Excel set of updates? Was there anything of interest in there?
Yes, I did, and one of them, a lot of my time in Excel is formulas, adding things, doing some fancy stuff, and so they've made some improvements on memory usage. I know that's kind of it's not a real pretty thing that to talk about, but it basically means you'll be able to increase your speed in entering formulas. It's not going to have as much lag and as much memory usage when you're doing the formulas. So that's the one that I was like, oh, that's cool for the Excel one, and you looked at the PowerPoint, right, for the comments one?
Yeah, well, we work a lot in PowerPoint, not just as presentations, as proposals as well, or just pitch decks, and we co-author a lot with them as a team. And one of the things that this update brings is that your comments can be anchored to text within the PowerPoint. If you were adding a comment earlier, it was often just this little object that would appear, and you'd have to drag it out and sort of indicate where it is. But now you can actually, just like you can within Word, your comments are anchored to maybe a bullet point where you've got some discussion with your team about, I think we should work on the way that we're saying this particular bullet point or paragraph. So that's going to be useful for co-authoring. Yeah, that's worth a quick mention. But
that was MC 395584.
Yeah.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, and probably a good page to have in your favorites. I don't know if there's like an RSS feed for this page. That would be kind of good too, right? To say, latest round of updates. But that is the latest round of updates from us from the 365 Message Center show for this week. We realize that a lot of US peeps will be catching this after the fact, after the live show. Hopefully it will still bring you up to date with a few things that are arriving soon and that you need to prepare for.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening, and thank you for caring, because I know you shared this episode out to all your friends and followers. We really appreciate that, and we'd like to engage with you. So you got questions or thoughts, or want to hear others' thoughts about updates or what's coming, throw it out there, and make sure you tag us at 365MCS, and we'd love to engage with you. Thank you so much.
Nice one. Okay. See you next week, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.